Take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we.
Hi guys, welcome back to the sewing version of this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. So I've already gone ahead to use my pattern paper to cut out my fabric, and you can see that I added stitching allowance all the way around, so please don't forget to do that. So we are going to start with the yoke. You can see my stitching allowance on all sides, so I'm going to remove my pins like this. For the yoke, I have 4 pieces of this. 2 is going to serve as my lining and the other 2 will serve as my main piece. For the main piece, I'm using a stretchy fabric, so I ironed my gum stay on it to give it strength. So this is my side back and my center back. I'm going to notch the zip area like this so that I'll know where my zipper area is. I'll do the same thing for the lining. I also went ahead to iron my gum stay on this to strengthen it, so I have 4 pieces of this. I'll go ahead and notch my zipper area so that I'll know that is where my zip is supposed to be sitting. And the next thing I'll do is to bring the yoke for the back and the lining together. So I'm going to pin everything together in place like this, and I'll go ahead and sew the neckline. I'll sew the armhole area, and then I'll sew the side. I'll use the down part to turn it inside out. I've gone ahead to do that, and I repeated the same thing for the other part. I'll trim and I'll notch all the way around. I'll turn inside out, and this is what I have for the two. So if you can't, go ahead and iron so that everything lays flat. After turning it over, this is what I have for the two yoke and for the back. I'll go ahead and bring the back part of it like this. I'll place it right sides facing each other. Since I've already notched my zipper area, I know where the back should be sitting. So I'll place it on it like this and I'll pin down. Then I'll use my lining piece to cover it up, and I'll also pin it down. After pinning, I'll go ahead and sew. Once I sew it and I open it up like this, you can see that inside is very neat. So I'll repeat the same thing for the other side, and then I'll go ahead and sew. I'll sew the middle, I'll sew the two sides, and I'll turn it inside out through the base. I've gone ahead to sew it in place, and this is what I have. This is what I have on the inside, and this is what I have on the outside. You can see that everything is nice and clean, and this is my zipper allowance. I'm going to keep this aside and we're going to work on the front. So I already have my cup. I pinned my cup together. So this is the method I want to use. If you're not using a ready-made cup, you can go ahead and cut out your fabric the way your pattern paper is. But I'm going to use a ready-made cup, so I want my cup to fit into what I have. So you can see that my cup is labeled. I have number 1 and number 2. So I'll take one number 1. You can see that I notched the middle area. So I'll take one number 1 and place it on number 2. I'll make sure that the areas that I notched, which is the center, I'll make sure that they are matching. I don't know if you understand. And then I'm going to pin. So if you are not using a ready-made cup, if you are creating your own cup, just cut what you have on your pattern paper and add half an inch on the sides. Mine is a bit bigger because I'm using a ready-made cup and I want my cup to fit into what I have. So I'm going to sew the two sides together like this. So make sure you are pinning number 1 and 2 together. Know which cup goes where, so you don't go and pin the wrong cups together. After pinning, I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the lining piece, and then I'll sew. And for the yoke, you can see that I added seam allowance all the way around, and I cut my yoke on fold. So I have my lining and the main fabric. So I'm going to place my lining on the main fabric and I will sew all the way around. And the only place I'll not sew on the yoke is the part that I'm going to sew to my top. So I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is what I have. I've sewn the main piece and I've also sewn my lining piece in place. So I'll go ahead and bring in my cups, and I'm going to fold my cup into two equal parts, and I'll notch the middle because I want the middle of the fabric that I'll use to cover my cup to sit on the middle of the cup also. So I'll give it a notch like this, and I'll use the fabric to cover my cup like this. So just look at what I am doing. I'll make sure that the center of the fabric is matching the center of the cup. I'll use my pin to hold everything down all the way around. After doing that, I'll repeat the same thing for the other cup, and I'll go ahead and sew on the part that was provided for me to sew on the cup. So I've gone ahead to sew the fabric and the cup together, and this is what I have. What I'll do is to trim out the excess that I have on both cups. The next thing I'll do is to use my lining to cover my cup. So I'm going to place it like this, right side facing each other, and then I'll pin, and I'll just go and sew just the up. I'll sew just the up for both cups. I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what I have. So next thing I'll do is to top stitch. So if you don't want to top stitch towards the lining, what you do is to use your hemming gum to hold it down. So after doing that, what I'll do next is to pin the down part of my cup to the lining like this, and I'll go ahead and sew it close. So I've gone ahead to do that, and I trimmed out the excess lining. This is the other one. I've also sewn it in place. I'll go ahead and trim out the lining, and we are done with the cup. So this is my side front and my center front. I cut it on fold, and I also added half an inch all the way around. I have two pieces for this, the lining piece and the main piece. On the main piece, I ironed my hair stay to it, and this is the lining. I didn't iron anything to the lining. So what I'll do is to create my boning casing. I'm going to be using my bias. So go ahead and determine where you want to place your boning. So for me, I'll take one in the middle, I'll take two underneath the cup, and I'll just work my way around it. I've gone ahead to sew two straight stitches, and I did this on the back. I didn't do it on the front. This is what the front is looking like. So I'm going to place my lining piece on my main fabric, wrong side facing each other, and I'm going to sew the cup area together, and I also sew the middle. Don't forget to sew the middle together and the cup area together. I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what I have. So what I'll do next is to sew my cups in place. So I'm going to turn over to the right side like this, and I'm going to bring my cups in like this. So I'm going to pin the cup to the cup areas that I have here. Remember, I left half an inch allowance, so I'm going to take half an inch on this end to know where to start sewing. I also take half an inch on this other end. I'll go ahead and pin both cups all the way around, and then I'll sew it in place. And when pinning your cup together, don't forget to leave half an inch on the other end also, so that you can use the half an inch to attach your yoke to the main piece. So I've gone ahead to do that. I will sew, and this is what I have. So like I said before, leave half an inch on the other end. You can see my half an inch right here, so I'll be using this half an inch to join my yoke to the main piece. So this is my yoke. I've already gone ahead to sew it, and I've turned it inside out. So I'm going to join that part of the yoke to the half an inch that I left here, just like this. So I've already gone ahead to fix my yoke, and this is what it looks like on the inside. So the next thing I'll do is to pass in my boning through my boning casing. So I've already measured out my boning, and I reduced all the boning by 1 inch, so that I can use that 1 inch to attach the skirt area to these upper bodies. So I'll go ahead and pass my boning through the casing that I made, and after doing that, I'm going to attach what I have here to the skirt area. In case you don't know how to sew your skirt, I have a very detailed tutorial on how to draft out a basic skirt. I actually have did a video on how to do the skirt area, but I didn't know that my camera was recording on slow-mo. It was when I finished that I realized that everything that I recorded was on slow-mo, so there was no way I could include that part to this video. I'm really sorry guys. If you want me to do another video on how to create the Basque effect on the skirt area, please let me know in the comment section. And I hope this tutorial was helpful. Please don't forget to like, it's very important. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.